Hey everyone, it's Web Bike World Jim here, and I've got a new product that I've installed on my 2019 790 Adventure. It's a part of the Twisted Throttle Ambassador program that I'm a part of. Now, I've put a whole bunch of really cool add-ons to the Ninja, but I had one thing that they sent me that I really wanted to put on my 790. And that's this Scottoiler eSystem. So this is the latest and greatest chain oiler. It's an automatic system that is electronically controlled, not vacuum, which makes it, in theory, much more reliable, easier to install, yada, yada, yada. So let me show you what I did here. For people who really don't enjoy chain maintenance, like or stress about it, like you, Kat, this might be the answer. So let's start here with the components. The basic components are the reservoir and pump, which you can see I installed back here along the frame rail under the seat. Now, people put them all kinds of places, but I wanted it somewhere protected if the bike tips over. I should say when the bike tips over. So this is actually in a sheath, and the sheath is tie wrapped to the frame. You can remove it. I don't know if I can. I'd have to cut the tie wrap. I think I've got it wedged in here too good. But this rubber piece right here, I may never be able to get it back in now that I've taken it out. So that is just a plug to cover this fill hole. And this is the container of blue oil that comes with this particular one. The blue oil has this neat filler tube, and you just stick it in that, and you can fill up your reservoir like so. The blue oil has a temperature range of between 0 Celsius and 30 Celsius. So that's ideal for Alberta, Canada, where I live and ride. If you're living somewhere hotter, like with a more high range, then you're going to want the red oil. Now the container or the reservoir holds enough oil for, I'm told, about 6,000 kilometers. And that should be tons of time. So what it does is it has an electronic harness, which is this one here, runs up to the computer readout, which we're going to see in a minute, and also runs to the battery to get power. Coming out the top of the reservoir is this clear tubing, and you can see the blue oil in there. This is a check valve, which the instructions kind of showed installed here, but I think it could actually be anywhere in the tubing. This is where I put it. Now I put it in such a way that when I put the rear seat on, I'm hopefully not going to snag any of this, but it is close. I ran the wire and the tube along here, and you can see it comes right about here. Now they diverge paths. So let's start by following the clear tubing down along here. I left a loop here to account for the travel of the suspension and the swing arm, and I used these neat little stick-on tabs to secure the hose, and it goes right to the back where it drips oil once every 70 seconds once the bike is in motion onto the chain. And the centrifugal force of the should cause the oil to go out and lube the chain. I'm told these work really, really well. So if we come back up here, this is the wiring harness here, and it goes up here. And what I decided to do was basically follow the clutch cable, which is routed from the other side right here, and I followed it underneath the tank. Now this is where I kind of diverged from the Scottoiler instructions. Now they're not really detailed instructions, but their plan is to mount it actually on your handlebar mounts here, so that it would be out here somewhere or out here somewhere. Now as you can see, I've already got my RAM mount attached here, so I didn't really want a monitor hanging right here, although actually that might have been a good spot now that I look at it. But I just didn't really want a harness flexing going through the triple tree and everything. So I've got my heated grip switch here too, which is kind of in the way. And the more I thought about it, the more I just wanted to run the cable solid. So I ran it along the frame rail or around the headlight guard down there, and it comes up under here under the dash, and it comes up to the monitor. Now this is the control center, and when I first attached it to power, the system lit up, which really surprised me. But I found out it turns off automatically if it doesn't sense the bike moving. It has an accelerometer in it. So that was really cool. But you can also just power it on by hitting the switch, and there it is there. So on the monitor we have lots of cool information. This X over the drop tells me that it doesn't sense movement in the bike, so it won't inject oil. It tells me the temperature of the oil. It tells me the flow rate, so you can adjust it up or down if you want more or less oil. And this is what tells you how much oil is in your reservoir. And you reset this every time that you put oil in. So mine's clearly full right to the tip top, so I left it there. Inside the menu, you can actually see they have the standard setting, or they have the eSystem with Traveler. So there's like an extra or auxiliary reservoir that you can install in the system. So if you have that, you just cycle down to the next one. This is the oil level. This is where you tell it that you've got either no oil or varying degrees of it. So mine's full, I'll leave it there. This is the sensitivity, so you can adjust the speed that it starts to inject the oil, 1 drop every 70 seconds. So I think stock is between 20 and 30 miles an hour. And I'm just going to leave it there for now and see how it goes. And finally, the boost is a manual system, a manual setting, so that you can purge air. And I do have a little bit of air in there. So watch this. If I hit this, you can see it's starting to inject the oil. So come back here and look at the injector, and you should see oil coming out. And sure enough, there it is, injecting it on the... Now it doesn't inject this much. This is just to prime the system initially or get rid of an air bubble. And you can see up here, I do in fact have an air bubble traveling down the line. But it does seem pretty cool that it keeps the system primed. Like I had left this overnight after the initial, and I haven't ridden it anywhere yet. So there's bound to be some air in the system still. And I'm probably making a real mess on the sprocket right now. At any rate, I do have some concerns about this clear tube and that injector nozzle. They do send you a few different tips in case you break one off or something. So that'll be something to keep in my pack. But overall, I'm really excited about the potential here that all I have to do from now on is just basically clean the chain as opposed to clean and lube. And when I'm out on a ride, it should basically take care of itself and extend the life significantly of my chain and sprockets. You can see the air line, the air bubble is up here now, and it's slowly making its way down. I don't see any other air bubbles further up here. So this will continue to prime for 5 minutes apparently, and I will update the review and do one in earnest. But for now, I just really wanted to show off what a cool system from Twisted Throttle. But yeah, I'll put a link in the description as to where it is, how much it is, all that from the Twisted Throttle website. So yeah, initially really excited, really impressed with this system from Scottoiler.